Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any of our platforms. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. Back in 2020, Parmigiani Fleurier launched the Parmigiani Fleurier Tonda GT. And for 2022, we got this variant with green dial, a timepiece with a big date, a lovely sort of triangular clou de Paris, a very Oso 2022 to 23 forest green in a 42 millimeter stainless steel case, 11.4 millimeters thick from lug tip to lug tip, 48.4 millimeters, and if we include the first link at the end of the bracelet on each side, total distance across the wrist is 51 millimeters. Now we will throw it on the wrist. My wrist is 16 centimeters circumference, and it wears beautifully. A lot of watches that are sports watches that are highly water resistant, somewhat complicated and automatic winding, they tend to be thick. This is the opposite of that. It's only 11.4, but you can see that it's got a little bit of a slope to its bezel and crystal, so it slides easily underneath the cuff, no issues there. I could recommend it for a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference because even though it is technically 51 millimeters across the wrist, there's a lot of curvature to the lugs and the bracelet before you get to that point, so it does wrap around a smaller wrist. On my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, absolutely no issues. The bracelet is handsome, and as is the way with the Tonda GTs and the Tonda PFs that followed them, fully integrated. We have a little bit of a sweep and taper down from the end links. You can see we have a medley of satin and polish. Outer faces are polished. We have removable links fixed in place by screws with an intermediate size link on each side in case you find yourself in between sizes. We have a double folding clasp. And when closed, you can see we have the Parmigiani Fleurier name in satin, and twin trigger release, so you have to press both triggers to release the clasp. The swing arms and the chassis are thick gauge steel and inspire confidence. Rolling around the case, you can see elegant teardrop profile lugs that are omnipresent on generations of Michel Parmigiani watches, and of course they do have a wonderful sculptural pattern to them that's separate and broken apart from the case as they do protrude significantly. They help to improve the ergonomics of the watch but also give it a look that is fairly distinctive of Parmigiani. This is one element of design continuity across many of the models, whether they're round or not, that really ties the Parmigiani collection together. You can see the Parmigiani logo on a knurled crown, and then we have a little vertical lip to the bezel before giving way to coining, and then yet another slanted conical profile before we get to the dial. We'll do a loom shot here just so you can be absolutely certain of what you're getting. You can see that the hands are conventional Luminova, but the indices are a little bit of a strange black variant of Super Luminova. So after a few moments, you're not going to see the indices anymore, but you will see the hands. The dial is good depth. You can see outboard there's a minute track, inboard of that a concentric pattern, inboard of that what Parmigiani describes as a triangular clou de Paris, and then we have concentric patterns inside of sunken subseconds. Note that we have asymmetrical hands there. One traces the inner semicircle, the other traces the outer semicircle. We have modified delta style hands here, skeletonized, a lovely little date window that is both beveled and satinated for the double digit date, which we will demonstrate now. We'll just make sure we're not in the day change danger zone. But we have a hacking or stop seconds function, so you can set the watch to a reference time. Then we also have a quick set, so you can rapidly set the double-digit date. Turn and roll over, and of course, Valche manufacturer is the movement arm of Parmigiani Fleurier. So you can see right here we have a Valche caliber with the Valche star on the base plate below the balance. 4 Hz beat rate. It has a high standard 5-position adjustment with a free sprung balance. Twin mainspring barrels. We have automatic winding. We have a 45-hour power reserve. The purpose of the twin barrels here isn't so much to give it an exceptionally long power reserve, but to maintain a very flat and consistent torque curve through the full 45 hours that it does run. A lot of single barrel movements, even when they have the same power reserve at face value, don't maintain torque as consistently as with the twin phased mainsprings in series. And then all of this pivots on 33 jewels. You can also see we have a 22 karat gold mass with at least 3 different finishes on its surface. 22 karat is more than 21, is more than 18, is more than rose gold plated tungsten. So Parmigiani went for maximum winding efficiency here, spending a bit more money and also using ceramic bearings, or at least ceramic bearing balls, in a hybrid ceramic race to create a more efficient, low-maintenance winder. You can see there's perlage on the base plate, there's snailing on the outer feet of the bridges. We have a spectacular sunburst, Côte de Soleil, or sun ray striping across the bridges. And then we have a credible bevel on the edge of these bridges. I don't know how well I'm showing it, but there is a little bit of a mirrored shine there. And of course, the rotor bearing at center features solarization, and all of the screw heads are bright polished. Again, 100 meters water resistant, this timepiece is ready for anything. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details of this limited edition of 20 pieces.